You're listening to DraftKings Network.
Welcome to the Big Suey, presented by DraftKings.
Why are you listening to this show?
The podcast that seems very similar to the other Dan Le Batard podcast.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to apologize for that.
In fact, the only difference seems to be this imaging.
I have been tempted in restaurants just walking past tables to grab somebody's fries that if they're just there. That hasn't happened to you guys?
I've done it.
And now, here's the marching man to nowhere, Fat Face, and the habitual liar.
Today's episode of the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz is brought to you by Peloton. A party on a bike, or rower, or treadmill, or app, or walk, or weight room, or anywhere. Peloton.
I should clarify, Virginia Tech did play Florida State earlier this year, and that was maybe another one that Florida State escaped because Virginia Tech made a late run, made it a game, questionable call there, and it seemed as though that result sparked Virginia Tech into being one of these annoying ACC teams. Every year, the ACC championship is a team, I see how they got there, and another team that you're confused as all hell. How the hell did they make it? You would think when they got rid of divisions in the ACC, you would get the whole coastal element out of its system. Now what happened is it's just all one big coastal, and they're all beating each other up.
I don't think that anyone nationally thinks anything of the ACC other than Clemson for I don't know how long. Florida State has just recently developed something that feels like national power stuff, but the ACC has not been something that's been birthing schools that anyone fears.
I agree, and if Florida State loses at home to Miami, which is a possibility, I think they're going to take a precipitous drop. They're not going to get the benefit of doubt and drop 2 or 3 spots and still be in contention for the CFP. If FSU loses, I can see them dropping to 10 and no longer being considered.
They're just waiting for them to lose, to stumble, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Does Greg Cote have a back in my day?
It's Tuesday.
He's right.
So yes.
Yeah,
So
of
yes.
course.
Wow.
Why wouldn't he? You asked again.
Without saying.
Why are you surprised?
Yeah, because it has been inconsistent
Yeah, sure
recently.
has.
Before we
Thank
get
you.
to the back in my day, and before we get to Lucy's coverage from the world's biggest cocktail party, you for some reason have been lamenting the placement of Cheez-Its in your grocery
Oh, my
store.
God.
Well, what's happening here? Did you have trouble finding them?
Okay.
Where does this lament come from?
All right, I've become infatuated with Cheez-Its lately. It's become my favorite snack. I'm not exaggerating, I spent 15 minutes going up and down my potato chip snack aisle 3 different times, slowly scrutinizing every bag, looking for Cheez-Its, could not find them. Left thinking that my store just doesn't carry Cheez-Its. My wife tells me, "Oh, dummy, they're on the cracker aisle."
Right. Yeah. They also come in a box, so.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Cheez-Its should be on the potato chip aisle with bagged snacks.
But they're not potato chips.
And they're not bagged.
They're crackers.
They're bagged.
They're not bagged.
They're
in
box.
bags.
They're in a box.
Yeah.
Cheez-Its are in a bag.
In a
They're
bag,
100%
in a bag,
in a box.
but it's a bag in a box.
Yeah, there's a box around the bag.
And they should be in the snack aisle. Everybody within the sound of my voice is nodding like a bobblehead, agreeing with
Well,
me.
people
literally
disagreeing
everyone
with you.
in here is disagreeing with you,
Cheez-Its.
though. Even me, which is odd.
Put Cheez-It on the potato chip aisle.
Do you know how odd it is for you to lose Billy? Billy here supports all things Greg Cote in a way that has been insincere for damn near a
How
decade.
dare you?
No, Billy gets me normally, but not
That's
in this
true.
case.
Yeah.
You
Well, you're not
lost me,
Greg
Billy.
Cote today. You're Nala or whatever.
Quasi.
Quasi. It's a fine, Billy.
K''WASI, lowercase w, if you please.
If you please.
Yes.
Well, how does Quasi spell it?
Lowercase w, but it's often mistaken.
Got it.
You know, the apostrophe will do that.
And why are you Quasi?
Oh, I'm glad you mentioned
You're
that.
a Russian Quasi.
Quasi is the star of the forthcoming new book, The Pride of a Lion, which drops December 5th. Thank you. which drops December 5th and is available for pre-order now at Amazon or Target, Barnes & Noble, Books & Books, and Coral Gables. Wherever you buy your books, you can pre-order The Pride of a Lion, dropping December 5th. That sounds like Kwasi, as a matter of fact. Here's a funny story. Kwasi does not have a very majestic roar. All roars are like fingerprints with lions. All lions roar differently. Kwasi's roar is sort of an anticlimactic little grunt. Well, it's not a meow, it's a grunt, but still. But what a life he's led. Can't wait to share that story with the public. Didn't you
get like a first, like, didn't you get to go up close in like one of these like vans that takes you back there and you got to watch him eat?
Sure did. Yeah, we were closer than 10 feet from a lion that could kill me in a second and a half if he was in the mood and I wasn't in a protected vehicle. But it was quite an
Isn't your
experience.
book number one in some incredibly obscure category?
It's actually number one in 2 or 3 incredibly obscure
Nice.
categories.
Southeast
actually.
Florida.
Number one is number one, Greg. Take it. Okay?
I will take it.
I want to
Believe
ask
me.
Ron because I caught up with the hippo that's named after Dan, and I think he's beefing with his roomie because they're being kept away from one another.
What a great sentence.
I heard rumors of them not getting along and a little bit of a fight. So I gotta get clarification because they are being kept away from one another.
Wow, talk about a book. Dan the Hippo. I got to write that one next. Let me write that down. Make myself a note. Okay. All right.
You didn't write anything down.
I pretended to.
Yeah. It's always helpful.
It's like when a news show is signing off and you see the host going like this, writing on something. He's not writing. Come on.
You did, but everyone could see that you weren't writing anything. It was clear.
I'm sorry. It appeared that I was writing.
Dad, don't you still jot down notes at like at press conferences when other people are just recording it?
I'm one of the few people who still does.
Right.
Yeah. I have like a little
Chicken scratch.
mini yellow legal pad. I'm recording just for appearances.
Sure.
But mostly I'm just writing notes longhand. Saves time. Don't have to transcribe.
It doesn't save time.
Well, it really does. I don't want to have to. But then I discovered otter, which is a whole different thing.
Right.
So that's a whole nother story. But
Sounds like a whole other book too. An otter. Oh,
well, this is not the little sea creature. It's the app otter, which transcribes. Like if I
you can text, you can dictate a text, you can also dictate through an app.
I just discovered it.
I hate the dictating text. I don't know if I have an accent. I don't know if my phone's racist. I don't know what's going on here. Never understands what the hell I'm saying.
Oh, me too.
I love when my dad does it. I'll throw in like inappropriate words at the end of it, and it picks up the words.
I know he does.
Wait, so like you'll be writing a
He'll be like
story
in the
about
background.
He'll be
Bam Adebayo, and
He'll be
then Chris will
texting-
say like
He'll be texting his boss like, "Yes, JD, I will have that to you later," and I'll put in the back balls.
Or worse.
Yeah,
Believe me,
I'm
balls
trying to clean it up.
is the best that you say.
Chris, did just out of curiosity, because I don't know how you were formed, did you see?
Well, I know.
Did you see your parents show each other much in the way of affection? Do they hold hands? Like, did you see growing up in your household something that showed you that your parents were affectionate with each other?
On one of the recent episodes of the Greg Cote Show, my dad was saying how he doesn't ever call my wife like baby or any kind of pet name. So we had him on the show call her on speaker and say, "Hey, baby," and her reaction was like, "What the hell are you doing talking to me like that?" But no, actually, now that you say it, do you guys hold hands? I don't know you to be hand holders.
No, we actually had a conversation about that a couple of years ago because you always see people, no matter where you go, you see the look at me couple holding hands, being super affectionate in public.
Right.
And I'm
Look
like,
at me. They're just holding hands.
You don't have to show everyone.
Exactly
Yeah,
right.
exactly. Yeah,
Keep love
look
to
at-
yourselves.
Exactly.
Billy, you give off hand holder.
No.
Okay.
I'm not. Anyway, we are not a hand-holding couple, and that's fine with the two of us. But I wonder if it is robbing me of some intimate aspect of my relationship, and I also wonder what hand-holding couples do they feel superior to couples
Yes.
who are not hand-holding?
They do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Like, will you ever bust it out? Like, when will you hold
Well,
her
it sounds
hand?
like Greg wants to be
Well,
a
hold on.
hand
Yeah,
holder,
Greg,
and
do
your
you
mom
wanna hold
doesn't wanna
hands?
be.
No, we've tried it. Yeah, like my
I'm
wife.
not sold on that. It felt very much like Greg. You want to hold your wife's hand.
And she won't.
She won't
Yeah.
hold your hand, so
In
you've
public.
convinced yourself you don't want to be a hand holder.
we've-
I think that you think you're missing out on something.
Okay, we've done it a couple of times, honestly, and you take 10 steps holding hands, and you're looking for an excuse to disengage.
No, then you do the
Right.
squeeze.
Let's be
Me and my
honest
wife,
with
It's
when we've-
uncomfortable.
When
Yeah,
we've reached the
right.
limit, we'll do it for like, a tenth of a mile. and then we'll give a squeeze. The squeeze is like, this is done.
It's done.
Yeah, we'll let go now.
We're separating?
Yeah.
No one else does the squeeze in here?
Put it on the poll, please, Juju, at Batard Show. Are you a hand-holding couple? Yes or no?
You ever smooch in public, Greg?
No way.
When's the last time you smooched?
When is the last time Greg Cote gave
tonsil hockey.
his wife, well, not just tonsil hockey. Hold on a minute. It's got to be just lips together, right? We can't have it be French kissing.
I want some tongue.
Frenching.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen my parents French kiss.
Why would I?
May you never.
For Christmas
I don't think
birthday.
anyone has.
What?
Nah, I feel like most kids have seen it a couple
Who
times.
has seen their parents French kiss? Come on.
He just said, "Do you may you never?"
I mean, seriously. That's ridiculous. Yeah, I will affectionately and discreetly kiss my wife goodbye if we're saying goodbye in public. Hey, see you later. You know, a little
Right.
kiss and blah, blah,
Lips
blah.
or cheek?
Yeah, lips or cheek. Very important.
Big
Normally,
difference.
you know,
Yeah.
the corner of the lip or something. You know,
What?
that kind of thing. Yeah.
Weird.
Corner of the lip.
Come on.
Little forehead kiss ever?
No, I'm not a forehead kiss guy. No, I'm either a cheek or a lip.
Does your wife ever forehead kiss you?
No. No, that would be odd. It'd be like me saying, "Hey, baby." It'd be the same
Her
reaction.
reaction was hilarious to that.
Who's more affectionate, you or her?
I think I am.
That's hard to believe.
Is it?
I mean, yes. yes.
Baby! I'm the one who invented baby.
Well, but
Come on now.
Greg, Dan's early on in his marriage. He doesn't understand. Love dies in your marriage. Like, you'll get there. You'll
Yep.
realize the holding hands, the kissing on the head, that all goes away.
I don't know if I would use the word dies, but your point is well taken.
Billy,
Lies dormant.
How about ebbs?
It becomes like back in my days. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. When it's there, you're like, whoa, that's there. And you're like, of course.
Like a
It's
few
Tuesday.
times.
Spark.
A few times quarterly.
That's fair.
Billy, you are a supporter of all things Cody. I heard you before the show celebrating Chris Cody, telling him he was right about something.
Oh, I was so excited, Dan. I saw yesterday that Chris Cody was right. I texted him, which I don't text a lot of people, but I texted him yesterday. I was like, Chris, did you see the news? You were right, because Chris has been for a while now saying that Vic Fangio has to come down from the booth down to the sideline to get the boys riled up to intimidate them. I didn't really understand that part. But 49ers...
Just get his hands on him.
The 49ers...
In a non-violent way. Just,
Just be on the field.
Yeah.
Make
Yeah,
them
hold
feel like you're in the
hands.
game with
Yeah,
them.
like
That's
you
all.
love each other.
Right.
Yeah, so it seems like the 49ers in this off week, the bye week, they're looking into that.
Not
and
so
their
dumb
DC may be coming down to the sidelines
Not
now.
so dumb when Kyle Shanahan says it, huh? Huh? Look at you. Everyone in here mocked me. Everyone. And when you didn't when you saw Kyle said it, you guys were like, could work.
Kyle's like 2 seasons away from us thinking he's not a genius, right?
2 losses.
Because Staley got there quick, but I feel like Shanahan, we're on that path maybe.
I'm doing the opposite with that. I'm getting my future bets in for the Niners because this is the best odds you're going to get on them all season right now.
The part that's confusing to me is Garoppolo was a throwaway from winning the Super Bowl, and it's like he can't really play.
He was awful last night. Just dreadful.
So bad. Devontae Adams was so upset.
He is well on his way to becoming a backup quarterback. And again, one throw in the Super Bowl, and he is forever a Super Bowl winning quarterback.
Yeah, like Trent Dilfer.
This is a new and unimproved Dan Le Batard show with the Stugotz. Gamble on by DraftKings.
Hey everybody, happy football season. It's Mike, and let me tell you what I do from kickoff to the final whistle. I have a Miller Lite in my hand. I just don't go wrong with it. I learned from experience. There is only one light beer worthy of our national obsession, because what's the point of having a beer if it doesn't taste like beer? You don't want to spend any time while you're watching football thinking about what you're drinking. And with the dependable flavor of Miller Lite, you know you don't have to worry about it because it's only got 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12-ounce serving. With a smooth taste and a crisp, clean finish, you'll get all the taste that you crave without the calories. A light, less filling beer that tastes great in football, there's just no topping that, folks. At least not for me. This season, do what I do. Crack open a light beer that hits your taste buds so hard, you feel it in your heart. Make it Miller time all football season long. Get Miller Lite delivered right to your door. Visit MillerLite.com/Dan, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Dan Le Batard.
Greg Cody of the Miami Herald, he's actively playing defense against my ability to do the show, because what are you laughing at? You're just laughing at
Honey Boo Boo is embroiled in controversy. It's funny to me.
Sorry.
Stugotz.
He couldn't stop laughing just looking at the picture of Honey Boo Boo. That doesn't sound healthy. It's his laughter.
We were fantastic.
We can't make him laugh like that. It's how he's going to die. Right here, just laughing and coughing.
I want to die like that.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Do you think Florida has any chance today?
It's actually going to be a good game, but it's about the mother dogs.
Well, if you're right here watching, Mom, give me the dogs, Mama. Give me the dogs! Ooh, 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 ooh.
How do you feel about Georgia fans barking all the time?
Georgia fans, them all. We're gonna like show up and we're gonna them up. Not really. I'm just. It's for the spirit. I love my Georgia fans. I'm all about like collegiality, being nice, being respectful of the other team. You know, it's all for fun. But at the same time, the dogs, Georgia fans, go Gators!
There ain't nothing finer in the land. Ain't nothing finer in the land than a drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Than drunk, obnoxious Georgia fan. Go Dogs! Go Dogs! Go Dogs! Go Dogs! Go Dogs!
Oh, 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 oh. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh.
Let's go Gators! Go Florida, baby! Come on, Gator!
We found a Georgia Southern fan here.
How about Hail Southern? How y'all doing? I'm Cole Ewan. Nice to meet y'all. Eagles, we already got our first win of the week, so now the Dogs are about to come in and take down the Gators. So I'm about to go 2 for 2. The parlays are going to hit right now. That's why you always bet on the Dogs.
Those Dogs today.
If you want to
Run the damn ball, Florida Gators! Run the damn ball! Yeah. Go merch to Beershaw. It's a touchdown, Florida Gators.
If you want to make money, you'll bet on the Dogs, though.
Broke down. You're not even. Yeah, look at his shirt. He's not even wearing a dog shirt. That's Georgia Southern. Who even hell goes to Georgia Southern? I love the Gators. Put it on the Gators, baby. Tell your mother. Put the mortgage on the Gators.
This is far and away the best tailgating environment I've ever been in. But I will say that Florida fans are more drunk by like a mile. I don't know if it's because they're more fun or it's because they're probably going to lose by more, but they are way more drunk. I'll say it, way more friendly. They have given us so much free stuff. Just a little free stuff from Georgia fans, but so much free stuff from Florida. And that's what this whole thing is about. And also doing my job properly.
The bark is limited because my voice is going. I've been in St. Simon's, haven't been sober since 12 o'clock on Thursday. I'm just rolling right on in.
Woo! Michigan, #1, Michigan. Woo!
Nice cargo pants. Nice cargo pants.
You just told me that today is your first ever American football game.
Oh, wow, yeah, I've just flown in from London into Atlanta and then 4 hours all the way down here. Never been to an American football match. I have some friends from here, which is great. You always said you've got to come down. Apparently I'm supporting these guys. So go Dogs! Is that the thing?
Yeah. Don't forget, the Big Ten still makes more money than them. And that's what really matters at the end of the day. Not wins or losses or championships, but money. Big Ten!
If you pull up and you want to show up, go Dogs. Let's go. Let's go.
T-Bo over here with the camera.
Hey, what channel is this? Dan, Sean, got that? Go Dogs.
Wait, what?
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs! Do you watch the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz?
No, ma'am, I don't even know what you just said.
Okay, fair enough. Do you watch the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz?
No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't. So.
Will you now?
No, but let me get a go. No, single. Thank y'all. Go Dogs.
Do you watch the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz?
Absolutely not.
Can you look at the microphone?
Absolutely not.
All right,
What should I do?
watch the show.
What show is it on?
It's the Dan Le Batard Show with Stugotz.
Tupac?
Yeah, with Tupac on the DraftKings Network.
I got you. All right, so
Wait, okay, so what is the name of the show?
Tupac Network. Watch it live now.
100%. Yeah.
Duval!
There is no way that you didn't get annoyed with all of that barking in about 9 minutes in.
It got old very fast. I think one of the moments where, so the game obviously was a blowout. By like the third quarter, I'm just like watching the crowd, and there's nothing that gives me the ick like seeing a grown man just start barking at someone. It was such an uncomfortable experience.
Where are you headed next? Where are some of the places that you're excited about?
That is a great question. Yeah. We would like to go to Alabama. We don't know if we are going to go to Alabama. And our other options this weekend are Bedlam, Oklahoma State. Should be really fun. Or if we're feeling really weird and crazy and gross, Iowa Northwestern. Wow. Stugotz is going.
I am going to that game against my will. But I am trying to help Lucy, and Dan, you should partake. I am trying to help Lucy get to the Alabama game. I put in a call to A.J. McCarron. I mean, how about that? Wow. Anything you want to do? Mark Ingram?
I've already asked John Skipper to see if we can get her on the Alabama field. Wow. But Alabama, I probably don't need to tell you, they are run like a professional franchise.
Right.
And they are something different from your average college franchise. So I'm guessing it's pretty hard to get on the field there.
Yeah, I'm not feeling super optimistic about it. Oklahoma State should be really, really fun. Iowa Northwestern, very distant third option. Very distant third option.
Mike Ryan has been making fun of Pat Riley saying that Tyler Hero was never up for trade, and I'm just wondering which is the bigger lie. Pat Riley saying Tyler Hero was never up for trade, or Robert Saleh saying, I've got unwavering faith in the Jets' offense.
Oh, wow.
He did say that.
He did. He said,
unwavering.
I don't know why you wouldn't just go faith there. Faith.
Unwavering.
Or I've got wavering faith.
I've got wavering faith. Faith that comes and goes, but it is not consistent. And I saw... And Taylor was telling me there's a new 33-year-old up-and-comer in the New York market at WFAN who's trying to do the Stugotz thing in his early 30s. Sean Morash has ripped Zach Wilson for going somewhere with his girlfriend, going to Utah with his girlfriend on the bye week. He has...
That's classic WFAN.
He has said he has ripped him for going apple picking. And said that he needs to, quote, stay back and grind.
But his coach has unwavering confidence in the offense.
Doesn't need to grind. Needs to pick apples.
So I'm under the understanding that this isn't an on-air talent. It's a producer that has become this lightning rod and has carved out a niche for himself. And Taylor pulled me aside, I guess in a similar vein. He's dressed as the Undertaker today, and he's like, hey, Mike, I've got Carolina observations.
Oh, wow.
Now, I am familiar with Taylor's Carolina observations because they happened last week. Mm-hmm. And I did find the heart to tell him I'm not exactly sure if that's a Dan benchmark, Taylor.
He came in here and told me the same thing.
I told him last week.
He came in and told me that he was going to do that. And what would be the Carolina observations? That they allowed 22 points in the fourth quarter to Georgia Tech?
Did you think he was serious when he told you?
You seemed to laugh like he was kidding.
No, I wasn't sure. I thought he was offering me a bit. I laughed. It was a genuine laugh at the idea that would ever be on our show.
Well, Stugotz made promises while you were gone, is the issue.
It was on the show last week.
He did it last week, and Stugotz said every week, buddy.
Stugotz likes...
That was good. He did a good job. I mean...
Stugotz likes when other people do the work for him.
He also likes promising things that other people then have to say no to, and then he's not the bad guy.
Well, he did them. I mean...
Yeah, but you promised that he would do them this week.
If it were up to me, he would do them again this week, but it's not. It's up to Dano. I mean, Dan wants to break the kid's heart. That's up to him. I'm not going to do it. I mean, Taylor's an up-and-comer. He is. Just trying to make his name in the business with Carolina observations. I mean...
Stugotz.
We're not going to do them?
Is he practicing his observations right now?
He takes them very seriously.
Looks like Slash.
Stugotz, everybody in video and everyone on the other side of this door did a much better job on Halloween stuff than our crew of underachievers.
There's Kylo Ren out there.
Quasi.
Quasi,
No
thank
one did
you.
better than Babushka the
It's an
Lion.
S sound, not
It's
a Z. but thank
quasi
you.
a Halloween costume.
No, quasi with an S sound, not a Z.
Exactly. It's a fine.
Billy, Stugotz texted me that he spent 40 minutes talking to Keyshawn Johnson at the barber shop. Where is that going?
Billy enjoyed it. I got to be Billy.
He
be
doesn't.
honest.
He doesn't look like he enjoyed
the
it.
conversation. He did. I know he did.
The problem with my life is so planning isn't a strength here, right? In terms of, or following a plan, I should say, isn't a strength here. So I kind of have to take things that Stugotz tells me with a grain of salt. So when he tells me Keyshawn's going to be on, and then Keyshawn isn't on, and then it was a thing like, oh no, he thought it was at 5:30. You have to understand that I went into yesterday thinking Keyshawn will not be on today, right? But I still have to prepare as though Keyshawn's going to be on. And then when we get to 2:30, which is when Keyshawn was supposed to be on, and Stugotz tells me Keyshawn's getting a haircut now, I assume Stugotz never spoke to Keyshawn, and he just was hoping that at the last minute he'd come and be on, right? So then when he tells me Keyshawn's going to be on at 3 today, I said, this is the third time I have time to go to Home Depot. I'm not going to wait around for this. So long story short, we eventually get to Keyshawn, and he's in a barber's chair. Which I'm like, Stugotz, this is why? Like, no, like, why are we doing this?
Because I wanted to.
I know, because you wanted to is the answer, but he wanted to do it from the barber's chair because he thought it'd be funny. And then what ends up happening is it ends up working out, so no lesson is ever learned. So it ends up working out. We do like 40 minutes with Keyshawn Johnson, which was really good. It was a good 40 minutes. And now we're kind of in a power struggle where I say we should put this on Stupodity so I could put the whole 40 minutes, and Stugotz wants to put it on God Bless Football because God Bless Football, you know, truth be told, gets some better downloads than Stupodity does.
Yes.
But God Bless Football, at the same time, I'm going to have to cut 40 minutes of Keyshawn into 12 minutes. So we're going to lose 28 minutes of Keyshawn, which is the battle that I'm constantly in with Stugotz, where he wants to do 40 minutes for every guest, and they can only really be like 12 for God Bless Football. So I don't know where it's going to go. I still want to put it as Stupodity because I feel like then we can air the whole thing.
Go for it, Billy.
Yeah, but you want it in God Bless Football so more people hear it.
I want you to be happy. You do with it what you want.
I
okay?
know, but but this is the other part about this. We reach this part of the conversation, and then 2 hours from now, I'll get a call from you like, I was really thinking it'll be better in God Bless Football.
I got to stop thinking. I have to stop thinking.
That's the move. Is it's always like whatever you think is best, and I know we're just going to revert back to what you thought was best.
That is so true.
Damn,
like
he's on to me.
he just says things into a microphone, and they're all lies.
Sometimes it's super tough to fit working out into your fall schedule. Between back to school, work obligations, family, and the return of football, fitness often falls down your priority list as a result. But your fitness shouldn't fall into that trap, especially if you're spending your hard-earned dollars on it. Enter the Peloton app. Motivation that moves you, hooks you, and works for a variety of budgets. At Peloton, your routine should never feel routine. Flip the script this fall by tapping into Peloton's endless variety of exercise options with Peloton Bike and Bike Plus. From intervals to club banger rides, your workouts can go from can't face to can't wait. Plus, Peloton's not just a class, it's a fitness entertainment mashup that'll have you whooping along at the top of your lungs and telling your friends afterwards. Plus, it really works. 90% of Peloton households that join at the start of the year are still active 12 months later. Unsure? We've got you. Try Peloton Bike or Bike Plus free for 30 days. Not for you? Return it for a full refund. Find your zone with a 30-day worry-free home trial of Peloton bikes. Visit onepeloton.com/home-trial.
Folks, welcome to the electrifying world of AFK with Ninja, hosted by professional streamer and gamer Tyler Ninja Blevins. Join Ninja twice a week as he dives into the internet and the ever-changing realms of music, sports, comedy, gaming, and entertainment to uncover the latest projects and excitement brewing within these industries. In the interview portion of the show, Ninja will engage in insightful interviews with prominent leaders, artists, and creators, delving into their upcoming endeavors, exploring the depths of their creativity, and showcasing the remarkable talents and achievements of these esteemed guests. In the variety portion of the show, Ninja himself takes center stage. Through behind-the-scenes stories, hilarious recurring segments, and community engagement, Ninja will share his own journey, experiences, and perspectives on the trending news of the week, adding an intimate touch to the show. Tune into AFK with Ninja, wherever you get your podcasts.
Dan Le Batard.
Greg Cote of the Miami Herald, who is a source of constant frustration and entitlement and narcissism. This is what he says. This is either the last Back in My Day as a regular series or the first of a new phase in which Back in My Days are occasional, not every week. So he has just announced officially his laziness.
Stugotz.
I want to make him an occasional series.
I am once a week.
But no, I think more occasional.
Right.
I think every time you don't have a Back in My Day, you can't do the show. I think we should.
Okay, that's fine, because I have a contract, so if you want to pay me for not doing the show.
That's fine. We can pay him for doing nothing. We already do.
That's a good one. I got no retort for that.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
Happy to be joined, as always, on Tuesdays, or I should say often, when he doesn't have an emergency giraffe procedure or an orangutan doesn't need surgery. Ron Magill with us. What are you making faces about, Ron?
Well, because I'm leaving right here. I just left the surgery. We're doing this cool surgery on a hornbill, a greater Indian hornbill. Have Stugotz look it up. It's kind of like the Eastern Hemisphere version of a toucan, but much bigger. And this hornbill, she's got cancer in her casque, in her bill. And they're taking the cancer out, and they used a 3D printer to make a false bill that they're going to put on there surgically. So as soon as I leave here, I'm going to go over there to photograph that. This is really cool stuff, man.
What do you regard as the coolest medical procedure that you have seen or been most awed by?
This could be it. I mean, I've been fortunate to watch a couple of cesarean sections. You know, when you pull that baby out for the first time, you see it take its breath on a surgery table like that. That's kind of moving. But to see, we also made a prosthetic leg for a secretary bird, which was really pretty cool. But to use this, what they did was they put this hornbill through a CT scanner, made a visual print of it, measurements of the bill, and then they had a 3D printer make this plastic kind of, appendage that's going to go onto this bill to replace the part that's taken out from cancer. Now, I don't know if it's going to work, but it's really a cool approach to help save this bird. So I'm going to get right back to that surgery as soon as I'm done with you guys.
What is the necessity of that part of the bill?
Well, basically, it's an announcement for the bird. They like toucans. They use them to kind of announce to each other their availability, that they're there. But they also can resonate sound in it. They make a honking sound, and that honking sound inside the bill, it kind of resonates. It makes it even louder.
Can you tell us, Ron, what it is that you're doing this Saturday and why it is it's important that people go out there? I know that we've talked about it some around here, but finally on Saturday it is here. And if people want to support the right things that Ron Magill is about, they can help do so on Saturday. Tell them where it is that you're going to be gathering, and I'm going to see if I can get some people from the show out there.
That'd be great. 10 a.m. Saturday on the northeast parking lot of Zoo Miami. There's going to be a rally here, and it's going to be basically to voice our opposition to developing a water park on this property, which is critical habitat for species. These are all endangered species that have been discovered since people voted for the water park way back in 2006. We've learned so much, and we're trying to get the commissioners to understand there's a big vote on December 12th. So we're all coming out here. I'm telling you, there are going to be hundreds, if not more than 1,000 people joining me and other key people out here. We're going to do a release of a hawk. We're going to do a release of some butterflies. But more importantly, we're going to walk up and down the pathway into Zoo Miami, demonstrating how we want to protect this, because it's a home for critically endangered species. It's critically endangered habitat. Guys, enough with the development. Listen, I'm not one of these extremists. If there's a roach in my house, I kill it. But we've got to be able to protect this critical habitat. It's the most critically endangered habitat in the state of Florida. The largest tract outside of Everglades National Park is right here at Zoo Miami. We cannot build a water park on it. The traffic already is ridiculous. What they'll do to damage this environment and the creatures that live in it is horrific. So please come out, stand with us, and let the people know, especially the commissioners, that we don't want this here. So on December 12th, they vote no, and they don't allow it to be built here.
Ron, is this replacing the one that you had announced is on Black Friday, or is this in addition to that?
Yes, this is exactly. Yes, the one that was originally going to be Black Friday, we wanted to do it earlier. So we can get more legs out of it, leading up to December 12th. And I think it's going to be, I tell you, I think this is going to be historic, folks. I think it's going to be the first time in my over 40 years working at the zoo that the commission makes a vote in favor of the environment over development. This is their chance. It's a brand new commission. These are all good commissioners, generally speaking. And I think they want to set a tone. They want to let people know, listen, we've got to put a halt. We got to put some brakes on this development because enough is enough, guys. We got to protect this for our future generations. That old saying, we've not inherited this earth from our parents. We're borrowing it from our children.
I wanted to get to a story with you that is old that came across my social media this week. In 1996, an unidentified 8-year-old boy slipped away from his mother, climbed over a barrier, and fell into the gorilla enclosure. Due to the 20-foot fall, the boy broke his hand and suffered a deep laceration to his face. 7 gorillas inhabited the enclosure. Gorillas are known to be fiercely territorial animals. They will fight to the death to defend their families. However, one of the gorillas went over, cradled the boy in her arms, and all while her own young child was on her back. She then went to the edge of the enclosure and waited for the zookeepers to come and collect the child and handed the child over peacefully before returning to the rest of the gorillas. What do you make of that behavior, Ron?
Well, I think that happened at the Oklahoma City Zoo, if I'm not incorrect. And it's a behavior that's typical of female gorillas, especially. That was a female gorilla, obviously a fairly new mother. There is an instinct there. I believe that animals can read things, that they sense things. And I believe that gorilla knew that that child needed help, and the only help that could be afforded to it would be getting it to a zookeeper. That gorilla knew that keepers had taken care of her babies, and that was an outlet, that was a conduit to help this child that had fallen in and hurt himself. So it's another reflection on how animals do have a sixth sense. Gorillas can be territorial, but it's male gorillas that are territorial against other male gorillas. They're not necessarily territorial against non-specific other animals. So, gorillas are generally known as the gentle giant. They're not the King Kong monsters that movies and other things make them out to be. And this is a perfect reflection of how animals can sense, first of all, that it was a child, and second of all, that it needed help, and the way to get it help was to get it to a zookeeper. I think it's a wonderful, wonderful example of this unwritten bond between people and animals.
Ron, a helicopter flying low over a crocodile farm in Queensland, Australia, created noise and vibration that caused a huge sex frenzy, an orgy among the crocodiles. What the hell was going on there?
Well, you know what happens, and you go down to the Everglades around March and April. This is the breeding season when the males are out there, and what they do, the males bellow. All crocodilians, the males make this bellowing sound, and if they hear something that sounds like a bellow, if you go down to, let's say, Everglades Alligator Farm down there in Homestead, and you hear a plane going over or a lawnmower starting, all of a sudden all the male crocodiles start going, because they think it's bellowing, so it's a competition. So that starts, and the bellowing is kind of like the foreplay. Okay, that gets the females like, "Hey baby, how you doing? Hey baby," and they start that up, and it becomes this domino effect, and it just becomes a massive orgy because this airplane, just the helicopter, makes that sound that gets, "Hey, that's a huge crocodile! It's time to have sex. Let's announce our presence," and that's what they do. And it's sex. It's wonderful.
I'm a native Floridian. I've seen a lot of big iguanas in my day. I think I saw the biggest iguana in my life at Zoo Miami over the weekend inside the chimpanzee enclosure. Yeah. I've gone there several times. I've seen snakes across the walkway. I'm curious what your approach is for some of these animals that reside in the zoo that aren't actually part of your exhibits, and what if your approach might differ for some invasive species.
Well, if we get an invasive species, if we trap them, they are removed from the property. If there are any universities or somebody doing studies on them, they're sent that way. Otherwise, they are euthanized. If they're invasive species and they're caught on different exhibits, things like iguanas, folks, they can be, conduits for disease. They produce a tremendous amount of feces. I mean, we've seen piles of feces on the walkway where somebody thinks that a freaking rhino has gotten loose, because that's how much they can excrete at one time. It's mind blowing. For the native animals, listen, I think it's a blessing. Every now and then you'll see a racer or a coach whip go across the walkway. People, listen, be lucky, man. You've just seen a wonderful piece of nature. The snake is just trying to get away from you. It's not going to hurt you. I tell people all the time, when you see wildlife, observe it from a distance, respect it. It wants nothing to do with you. Just leave it alone and enjoy it.
Ron, on Halloween, I am wondering which animal likes candy the most.
all animals like candy, though it's not good for any of them because it's sugar, man. Sugar is an addictive ingredient to anything. So anything with sugar, animals will eat it, and unfortunately, it usually makes them very sick if they get a hold of it.
Ron, going back to the story about the gorilla and the child, what is the most unusual reaction you have seen from an animal that should have been predatory or unkind and around a human being surprised you with the behavior?
Well, it wasn't necessarily around a human being, Dan. There was an incident with a lion in Samburu in Kenya that went to kill an antelope, and then the antelope's offspring was there, and it didn't eat the offspring. As a matter of fact, it just sat by it and kind of guarded it, and almost became like a maternal figure to it, walking around for days next to it like it was part of its pride, which was kind of a very unusual thing. As far as humans go, you know, one of the things that really moved me, we have a chimpanzee here named Samantha. She's not very fond of a lot of people, but for whatever reason, she really likes me. She had gotten pretty sick. She's in her 50s now, and she had been anesthetized, and she was having trouble coming out of the anesthesia. The vet called me back there. She said, you know, because for whatever reason, she really loves me. She hears my voice, and she gets excited. I think you've been out here, Dan. You've seen her react to me. And she wasn't coming out of the anesthesia. So I went up to her and I said, Sammy, it's me. Hey, Sammy. And she heard me and she kind of, and she kind of woke up and was, you know, I hate to use the word happy, but that's what it was. And it seemed to be kind of an inspiration for her to wake up and get better. And that kind of made me feel pretty good.
I'm going to show you this video of orangutan here, and you tell me if this orangutan is happy. What is happening here in this video? Is it a costume of some sort?
No, orangutans love to cover themselves in sheets. We'll sometimes even put T-shirts out on the exhibit, and they'll cover themselves in the T-shirt. He's just playing. It's just playing. You'd be surprised. You know, there's a lot of parallels to the mentality of a 3 or 4 or 5-year-old. When you see what these orangutans, a lot of these great apes do, they are just absolutely entertaining themselves and playing.
Well, what is this animal doing with this windsurfer? Because there's a windsurfer minding his or her own business in the ocean, and then a whale breaches and totally...
It's the whale's ocean, though, Dan.
The whale's just being a whale.
Yeah. The whale is just
whaling.
Right.
The whale is not... That's an accident there, correct? Hitting the windsurfer?
Yes, I think that is certainly an accident. These whales do not really see above them unless it's something like a big boat or something like that. They breach, you know, on a regular basis, and sometimes whales make the mistake of breaching in the wrong place. But it certainly was not a move of aggression.
That seems like something you can say, but that seems aggressive to me. It may have been an error, but getting hit by a flying whale
It's assault, buddy.
while you're windsurfing seems aggressive.
It's really a fluke, so to speak. It's like, you know, if you're walking down a street and a brick falls off the building and falls on your head, is the building being aggressive to you?
Yes.
No,
Yes.
No.
Ron, thank you for being on with
listen,
us.
guys, listen, for the rally, everybody gets one of these. The first 600 people get this T-shirt, baby. Come get it. Come be part of a movement. Come be part of history.
There
Saturday, November 4th, 10 a.m.
Saturday. Thank you, Ron. Good seeing you again.
Thank you. Take care.